Steph, we're all familiar with your two-way presence on the court every night, but can you take us into that block at the end of regulation?
Just kind of a read and react type situation. Like, obviously, I'm not in that position very often to pull over, use verticality and all that, but the read and the timing was perfect, and just knowing time and score. Drew was on full head of steam downhill. I left my man in the corner, hoping Clay would cover too, and again just made the right read. Like, it's all basketball is at the end of the day. Sometimes you get it right, sometimes you don't. But just with the energy in the crowd and down the stretch, the run that we went on, and contribute on both ends, it was a fun way to end regulation, and then to carry that momentum into overtime was huge.
Steph, do those kind of plays mean maybe more to you sometimes, because you don't do that every night? I mean, the half-court shots and the long threes, and you do those fairly regularly. So do you get a little more juiced up maybe sometimes when you deliver a block that saves a potential winning basket?
Yes, just because it's all context and like what's going on right now in our season. Everything's kind of related to what's happening now, and we need a win. We needed a win. We needed to figure out a defensive identity that would help us, and we did that a good portion of the game. Milwaukee's a great team, so they made it tough on us all night. But to your point, to hit a couple of big shots down the stretch, and then find yourself in a position where you can't make a play on the other side, I think it gives everybody a good boost, because it's shocking. When I think I got more compliments about that in the locker room than any shot I made tonight, which it speaks for itself.
And Steph, Steve said he thought this, from the opening tip to the final overtime buzzer, that this group was energized and playing a complete game. That he was quite pleased with. How do you feel about that?
I mean, even the 3 losses we had on the road, we're never in the moral victory mode, but there were bright spots around, coming back from big deficits, giving ourselves a chance, even though we didn't win any of them. So you look to those parts of those games to then say, okay, we can do this for, the majority of a game, and beat a great team even without Giannis. Like, we are capable of doing that. It's just the challenge of bringing the execution, the focus, and even when things don't go your way, in that fourth quarter where they take a 8-point lead at one point and we slowly walk them down, like, that's a belief that you have to have that we can do it. And we're playing that kind of revolving door right now of, being able to show it, then not, then, searching for it. And obviously the Chase Center's been great for us, so we have to figure out a way to take that on the road with us with some games coming up. And we know we're capable of doing it. We just got to do it.
Steph, we're used to seeing these kind of joyful celebrations from you, shimmying or the night. When you hit that 3 in overtime and you kind of mean mug the crowd,
I was tired.
What's going through your head?
I was
at
just
that
exhausted.
Time?
Slow walk to the bench, take advantage of the full 3-minute timeout. Don't yell, because that requires oxygen. Like, that's literally it. Just trying to conserve.
Nothing to do with the context of the win at all.
Nah, conserve energy. Obviously, there's reactions to the game, and you feel good about yourself, and there was a certain toughness and grit that we showed. That was with the facial expression, but I was just tired.
We haven't asked you kind of about this Andrew Wiggins situation. Have you been in contact with him? But just where are you at on that? Obviously, he's been away now more than 3 weeks.
Friend to friend, teammate to teammate, just sending him support. It's a tough situation in terms of him being away for so long, but necessary. Life is bigger than basketball, and whatever him and his family going through, that's all that matters. And whenever he's ready to come back, I'm sure he will. That's how he's built in terms of being available. And I know he's missing, the vibe and being with us, and we miss him too. So It's interesting. There's such a big spotlight on what we do on a daily basis, and the fact that we have so many people that rely on us on a daily basis. To be able to give that energy back to your family is huge. So we support him in all of that, and whenever he's ready to come back, he'll be back.
Did you think you would come back this sharp? I mean, you were gone for about a month with this injury, and at times you've come back quickly, but to be shooting as well and playing as well as you have, is that a function and part of the stage of the season and how much your team needs you, or how do you sort of look at these 4 games this first week back?
I've had, over the course of last 5-6 years, I've had these 4 to 6 week injury windows that I've gotten good reps on how to heal, and also towards the back end when you have like that return to play schedule and all that, I know how to apply myself in a way that gets your conditioning back quick, sharpens the toolkit in terms of shooting the ball and being sharp and all that, and being able to play pretty solid big minutes right away and not really miss a beat. So it helps to have gone through it a couple of times and know how hard you can push yourself in the rehab part, that you come back strong.
Steph, before the game, Clay gifted a young man a wheelchair who needed it to play basketball. He talked about being inspired and taking not the game not for granted and being grateful to play. What does that say about Clay's character? And before a big game like this, to meet a young man and kind of a life-changing experience for him to give something like that back to that young man?
It's huge. It speaks to how blessed we are that the game we get to play gives you a platform to connect with people in all different walks of life, and leverage just that moment to make that guy feel seen and celebrate him and support him. We all had opportunities to do that throughout our careers and our years, and this is the cool part about what we get to do. For him to do it before the game and take a little bit of a time, it's very obviously a selfless act, and not surprised that Clay's that type of guy. But it's the beauty of what basketball is and this platform that we have.